Hello students, today we'll continue with the lesson excretion, and today we're going to study about the different type of excretory organ, different type of excretory organ present in different organism, starting from the chordates to the non-chordates. We'll study both one by one. First, in the non-chordates, we will deal with the simplest. Protozoans are the simplest non-chordates. They treat their waste by simple diffusion. And this simple diffusion is done through the cell membrane, as they are devoted of cell wall. In the freshwater protozoans, like if we see the example in case of amoeba, they have contractile vacuole in which the waste material and extra water get accumulated, which help in their osmoregularity. Amoeba excrete ammonia as it is aquatic in nature. Now the next will deal with poriferas. In porifera, the very good example we all have studies are sponges. They excrete through diffusion, again by simple diffusion, that is the waste product inside the body is having in the high concentration, so it will diffuse from higher concentration to the lower concentration, and this is done through plasma membrane of individual cell. As we all know, in porifera every cell have their specific function, so each cell individually perform the function of excretion. Now the third one, and they also excrete waste product in the form of ammonia. As we are dealing with third one, third is coelenterata. The very good example of coelenterata is hydra. It's also aquatic, so it removes its waste in the form of ammonia. Again, same by means of diffusion, by means of simple diffusion through the plasma membrane. Now the next one is platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, also known as flatworms, very good example of platyhelminthes are planaria. They excrete their waste through a simplest tubular structure called as protonephridia with flame cells. So here the protonephridia with flame cells acts as a excretory organ for the flatworms. Very good example of this is Pesicola, Tinea. They excrete ammonia. Now, as we further move, the fifth class we deal with this is Eschyhelminthes. These are also called nematoda. For the excretion, they have intracellular canals and caniculi opening out of as an excretory pore. They are also called H-shaped system because their appearance occurs as a H-shaped alphabet. Very good example of Ascaris, as we all know, Escalminthes are Ascaris. which are roundworms. They also secrete in the form of ammonia. Next, we come to annelids. Annelids have metanephridia, help in osmoregulation. What does osmoregulation means? Osmoregulation is the regulation of osmotic pressure inside the cell. Example of annelids, as we all know, is earthworm. Now, with this we come to a seventh class, that is arthropoda. As we all know, arthropoda is the largest phylum. So here we have the different type of excretory organ for different organism. As first is Malpighian tubules, which is meant for excretion in insects, millipedes, centipedes, and arachnids. Now the next excretory organ of arthropoda is green gland, which is for subphylum Crustaceous. The member of this subphylum is prawn. Now the next is coxal gland. This excretory organ is found in scorpion and spiders. One more important point about spiders is that spiders excrete guanine. As we all know, guanine is a nitrogenous base present as a puree in the genetic material in the form of DNA. So, as spider excrete guanine, so it is also called guanotelic. This is important about spiders. So, spider excretory product is guanine. Next, we'll come to a point. The next non-chordate is mollusca. Mollusca have one or two pair of kidney, or they have organ of Bujanus for their excretion. They excrete ammonia when present in water and uric acid when present on land. The example of mollusca are mussel. The next is echinodermata. As we all know, the example of echinoderma is starfish. Starfish excrete ammonia. It have thin wall gills called branchial for their excretion. Next is hemichordata, which are present between the chordate and non-chordate. So they have proboscis gland for their excretion. The example of hemichordate is Balangoglossus. Next class is Urochordata. Here the excretory organ is neural gland. The example of Urochordates is Herdmania. Next class is Cephalochordata. Cephalochordata have protonephridia with selenocyte cells. The example of cephalochordate is Branchiostoma. Last one we will deal is vertebrata. In vertebrata we study fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, which they all excrete different type of nitrogenous waste like ammonia, some excrete ammonia, some urea and some other uric acid. One pair of kidney is present in all vertebrata as an essential excretory organ, while they also have some have gills, lungs, liver, skin, intestine, etc. as their accessory excretory organ. Suppose the lungs liberate CO2 when oxidation of food or glucose occur, while through skin we have sweat glands which remove sweat through the skin pores. This sweat contains 99% water and 1% dissolved minerals, iron, salt, and traces of urea and uric acid. This is all about the excretory organs in different organisms. Now, we will in detail study about the excretory system of vertebrate. That is, in detail we'll study about the kidney. As I have told you that kidney are the major excretory organ, human urinary system consists of a pair of kidney, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and the last is a urethra. So I like to show you in the form of diagram. These are the kidney from which the ureters are coming. This is second kidney. These are two kidney. This is a urinary bladder. So these are the pair of kidney. These are two ureters. This is urinary bladder, and this single opening is a urethra. Now, if we talk about the function of all these parts, so function wise, the function of first kidney is it maintains or it regulates blood pressure, blood volume, blood ionic composition, blood pH, blood osmoregularity, blood glucose level, and excrete waste. These are some important functions of kidney. Now, the next, if we talk about the function of ureters. They have not much function. Only the function of ureters are they transport urine from kidney to urinary bladder. That means they have this act is against the will of a man, so it is called involuntary action. As the urine is formed in the kidney, it will filtrate from nephron and get stored in urinary bladder. Now the next is urinary bladder. The function of urinary bladder is only to store urine which have come from the kidney through the ureters for some times. Then the next is urethra. The function of urethra is to discharge urine from the body. The most important thing is that it is a voluntary action. Without the man's will, the urine cannot be passed through the urethra. This is just in brief about the kidney and the function of each one. Now in the next lecture we will detailedly talk about the ultrastructure of kidney and the nephron, which is the structural and function unit of kidney. Thank you.